apparently Neil Druckmann, the creator of The Last of Us, the writer, the director, has just confirmed, like 30 seconds ago, there isn't going to be a Last of Us Part 3.
See, this is the problem with Sony. It's the fact that once the IP can't make any money, look what ends up happening, guys. The games go extinct, and yet for some reason you guys act like, oh, Nintendo and Microsoft don't know what they're doing. Fable, Gears, Forza, all the beloved franchises that Xbox gamers love to play still exist. And y'all want to sit there and act like, oh, we need Microsoft out of here. Microsoft should be dead. Because as far as I'm concerned, the only thing that I'm seeing dead is my beloved PlayStation franchises. Ain't none of y'all go, oh, but we got intergalactic, you know. Yeah, look at Sony moving on to the next thing that they think is going to be greater than Last of Us and Uncharted. And let's just be honest, it don't really look that interesting. See, this is the problem with PlayStation, man. You guys call yourself PlayStation fans, but yet now all of a sudden you ain't even playing PlayStation games. Like, this is crazy, man. The day these games stop making money is the day Sony says, you know what? We're going to send these games to the graveyard, and ain't nobody going to play them. I mean, at this point, Sony, go multiplat. If this is what it takes, man, if your games are going out like this, put them on Xbox, put them on Nintendo, put them on PC. Because I'm sick and tired of this exclusivity. It's the fact that Sony can no longer make money off the PlayStation audience because of how expensive the budgets are. These are things that I've been stating to you guys for a very long time, but since you want exclusivity, well, guess what? Your favorite franchise dies within that exclusivity honor. I'm tired of it, bro. If you call yourself a real PlayStation fan and would prefer to hear that A Last of Us 3 got canceled or Days Gone 2 got canceled solely due to the fact that it couldn't make enough money off the PlayStation fans, then you guys are fundamentally what's wrong with the gaming community, man. This is why it doesn't pay to be a fanboy.
And everybody's kind of instantly saying, what the heck? So let's take a look at some reactions. And
what is there not to understand? It's the fact that the game's budget's going to be higher. They're going to put too much money into it, and there's not enough people that are more likely going to buy it. It is what it is, bro. This is a fundamental problem that has been going on with PlayStation ever since Concord, even before that. But Concord fully exposed it. Sony ain't taking no chances. They ain't taking no gambles. I mean, at this point, the PlayStation 5 ain't nothing but an Xbox. Because the best games that you're going to play on it are going to be Xbox titles. But guess what? You're going to be paying for them.
I don't want to talk through my thoughts as a person that really enjoys these games, for better or for worse. Why I feel like...
So Sony put out the remasters as a last farewell. You know, here, guys, we know you enjoy these games. We're not going to make the third one. We're going to cancel the multiplayer. We're going to work on Intergalactic instead. So we'll throw out the remasters and remakes for y'all because, you know, we wanted to finish the third game. But, you know, there ain't enough people to buy it. And honestly, I think it's that. And I think that it has a lot to do with the fact that when they were developing Last of Us Part 2, there was a mutiny at the company. Y'all don't remember? That was several years ago where there was like people were not resting. They were like, yo, we're tired. You know, we don't have enough energy to make a new game. I mean, Sony was really busting their chops with this Last of Us Part 2. So that probably explains as to why they don't want to do a Part 3. Well, there you go. That's how Sony treats their employees. It's kind of funny considering that you guys use that argument with Xbox. But go ahead.
Abandoning it is such a stupid move. But
how is it stupid? It might be stupid from your perspective, but it ain't stupid in regards to Sony. Sony gonna save a lot of money not trying to gamble their life earnings away, trying to bring you guys an ambitious game. Like I said, man, Sony gotta go multiplat. They got a full, you know, that whole Xbox going full multiplat. I'm going to sit there and advise you and say Sony need to do the same thing. I'm a huge fan of Resistance. I would have loved to see a Days Gone 2 sequel. I would love to see Scythed on Filter. I would love to see Killzone come back. Put them on other platforms. If this is what's hurting Sony, which is exclusivity, I don't want to see it no more. Because at the end of the day, I still want to play my beloved PlayStation SOCOM, MAG, Killzone, Warhawk, Starhawk. I want to play these games, man. You know what I'm saying? This is just like you know what's funny? The Nintendo gamers, look at this as a wake-up call, right? Because I remember Nintendo gamers would sit there and say, if Mario went to Xbox or PlayStation, I'd be done with Nintendo. Now, hopefully those Nintendo fans can sit there and say, How ridiculous is that? Look at that. You see these ponies struggling. They don't even have their own games anymore, all because we want to lock games to a platform. Because that's exactly what it is. Because if Sony was multiplat, they would have no problem taking chances, putting these games out for the masses. This is why Microsoft said this is not the smart way to do business. Y'all chastising, y'all condemning them, but yet y'all giving them credit for every single new game they got coming to Nintendo Switch and PlayStation. Like I said, if this is what Microsoft got to do to stay afloat, I'm all for it. I don't care. Keep pumping out the games. Pump up the volume, pump up the volume. You know? Because what's going on with Sony is very concerning to me, man. I am a huge fan of their games. For people to sit there and say, oh, you just an airbot. You just an airbot fanboy. No, I've been playing on PlayStation since the PS1. I don't want to see Sony going under, as far as I'm concerned, in regards to their games and their software. Because that's the purpose of why I picked one up. So if it takes for these games to exist solely if they win multi-platform, then I'm all for it. I do not care, bro. Stop canceling my games, man. For real.
Is giving up. I think Neil Druckmann really tried to do something maybe too different with The Last of Us.
No, because that's how the story was supposed to happen. Y'all so upset about Joel dying in the game. What do people don't realize? It was never his game. What do y'all don't get? It's the same thing I used to explain to people on Gears of War. I don't like Marcus Phoenix. Why they got rid of this Dom, but they didn't get rid of Marcus? Because Marcus is a part of the story. This is his storyline. What do you don't understand? That's why his family's involved in it with the queen and his father. Bro, what do y'all don't understand? Do y'all understand how writing works? This is how I know you people don't know nothing about gaming development or cinematography. I actually watched a video about why Gohan can't be a lead character because he only gets stronger based off what other people's doing. Unlike Goku, he's the one that controls the story. He gets stronger. People want to, try to get at him and all that. That makes sense. You could make a story around that. You cannot make a story around a character that only gets stronger due to plot armor. Like, it doesn't make sense, man. That was a great video I watched, and it also applies to video gaming. No different than Ellie. Ellie's immune to the virus, right? She's immune to it. So therefore, it's her story. Let's not forget. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to throw out some spoilers of why Joel was there trying to bring her to the Fireflies, which we all know what happened there. He tried to bring her to the Fireflies. He was looking at it from the perspective, that's my daughter. I can't do that. I lost my biological one. Now I'm about to lose one, even though he didn't like it from the beginning of the game. So I get the attachment. It was a great storyline. It was a great dynamic. That's why it made it have more meaning when Ellie seen it from the perspective of how Joel did when he got beat by the golf club because of what Joel did to somebody that Abby loved. See, this is what y'all don't understand. Y'all like, oh, that don't make no sense. Joel hurt somebody that Abby loved, so Abby hurt somebody. Well, she got revenge on the person that hurt her, and Ellie's trying to do it to Abby. So it created this great dynamic. I personally just didn't like the cat fighting. Like, oh, you let me live? I'm going to let you live. It's just like at the end of the game where Ellie just decides to say it's not worth it and just lets her go on her way. See, that type of stuff is stupid. It's like, how many times you're going to have these arrangements where you guys all see each other? You guys can all end each other at any given moment, but you allow the person to get away. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was stupid, personally. Now, I didn't mind the dynamic between Abby and Ellie. I thought it was quite interesting, honestly. Because I think it's great when you got meaningful characters that stand for something and they go away, because it shows you that within that universe, nobody's untouched. That's why I liked it. So when you take out a character like Joel, you're like, dang, ain't nobody untouchable in this world. Anybody can go out the same. So that's where it created that dynamic, and people probably like, you know what, GameStar, I like the way you wording it, man. I might have actually played The Last of Us story, and, I was looking at these fake wannabe YouTubers and how they look at things, but the way you're describing it makes me seem a little bit more interested. There you go, because I break things down. Now, I'm not saying the story is trash. I'm gonna be honest with you, but it's the way they wrote it, right? Not because Joel died in the beginning of the game. That's not what made the game bad. Like, I can't stand when people say that.
Murdering the main character.
He wasn't the main character, bro. I'm tired, bro. See, oh no, here we go. How is Joel the main character? Joel serves no purpose to the story and the direction of the game. You don't know nothing about cinematography. It's so funny you talk about reading. I read novels and I read books, but you don't know nothing. Explain to me what Joel does for the story of the game. He's not immune to it. Ellie is. That's why the Fireflies wanted her, because they thought if they potentially used her and sacrificed her, like of all the other characters within that universe, that they could have found a cure for what's going on. Joel doesn't serve a purpose besides being a mule, delivering what he's supposed to. You know this. Stop the cat, bro. Y'all like, damn, gangster. Yeah, because I gotta be real with y'all.
I mean, making a different character that feels so evil, so much.
Oh my, go
maybe
ahead.
Too different with The Last of Us Part 2.
Go ahead.
I mean, murdering the main character that...
He's not the main character. It's just like with Kate in Gears of War 4 and 5. Y'all like, oh, it's his son's market. No, it's not. The story solely exists due to Kate existing in Gears 4 and 5. Y'all know it. Stop the cap. You know what I'm saying? I don't even like Kate. I'm not even defending, but I'm just saying the story exists because of the attachment that she has with the Locust Queen. Well, the Swarm Queen or whatever you want to call it, right? Y'all know this. So let's stop the cap. Every other character just plays a part into the story, but they're not the main character. Joel was never the main character of this game. He was just a person that fell in love with this girl because he lost his daughter. Like I said, I'm not even undermining the story of Last of Us 1. I think it's quite enjoyable. But when you guys talk this ignorantly about something, you clearly don't know what you're talking about, bro. It is not his story. It was never his story, even in the first game. You feel what I'm saying? It's Ellie's story. That's why you play as her in this game. Come on, man.
Is so beloved. I mean,
Come on, man.
Making a different character that feels so evil.
What do you mean evil? Well, it was evil what Joel did to Abby's father. That what was evil. What was evil is the fact that you don't think she wasn't supposed to get revenge off somebody. Y'all don't. What are you talking about? Just because you're attached to a character doesn't necessarily mean that the character shouldn't die. Like, what?
So much obsessive darkness and despair. Not that the first game was hopeful or anything like that, but there was levity. There was sparks of brightness in the first game that made the
Yeah, and you know who ruined that? The same guy that you're defending, Joel, that killed the same person that Ellie loved. Have you played Left Behind? These things was all... Oh, it's so funny how y'all call me Xbox fanboy. Now you're going to see my PlayStation colors come out. The same person that Ellie loved, they all prepared that. That's why at Ellie, I'm going to spoil this game, I don't care. That's why when Ellie was in the back of the car, Last of Us 1, and she asked Joel when they were in the car, is it true that's what the Fireflies was going to do? And Joel lied to her. It's even referenced in part 2. That's why Ellie has resentment towards Joel, even though she loves him. Because you know why? Because she knows he lied to him. She knows that he lied to her. That's why. And also, Ellie has resentment of what's going on based off all the people that she met in life that died. And she thinks that even though Joel's thinking, oh, they would never know if it was a real cure or not. But at the end of the day, as a person such as herself, knowing that she's immune to that, and it was used for the Fireflies for an experiment that might potentially be able to change something, she feels at fault at that. And she has to live through it. Y'all like, damn, Gangster, you making this Last of Us 2 sound quite good. I'm going to have to play it your way. Yeah, please do. Because when you do, you start seeing it like, oh, snap, this is kind of cool.
So I feel like there was a need to live, a joy that people will find a way to laugh and smile. Whereas the second game is so just absolutely obsessively depressing.
Yeah. What are you talking about? It's post-apocalyptic. Things are going down. They got to scavenge for items. You acting like they're able to go to the supermarket. Wait, it's supposed to be Peaches. Don't you see the background of where Ellie's at? Yeah, that looks like we on vacation, guys. Yeah, we should be parading, That looks pretty depressing in the background, okay? Bruh, I'm tired of this, bruh.
I almost feel like...
I'm tired of this.
Because of the blowback, because of the hatred, because of so many people, in a lot of ways, obsessively hating The Last of Us Part 2.
Community is ridiculous.
I kind of think that he's afraid to go back to it. He's afraid, in my opinion, to finish the story. Now, canceled Last of Us Online game.
Oh, there you go.
Now, from all the reports directly from PlayStation, they said that they were making this big-budget games as a service living world version of The Last of Us with daily quests and open exploration and characters and stuff like that.
Which is funny because you guys be hating on Microsoft for doing stuff like that, but go ahead.
And Naughty Dog themselves said, okay, we don't want to do this because we're going to have to do it in a Game of Thrones. Oh my God. It doesn't need to continue. Do new things. Tired of
It kind of does, because they left it off a cliffhanger. You know what I'm saying? They never really explained anything. And Last of Us Part 2 really didn't do a good job with it. I'm going to be honest.
About it nonstop for 12 years. I love the first game, but it's enough. Don't blame them. Too much toxicity. I honestly think this is the real crux of it.
No, it's the fact that Sony don't have the money.
Talk about it in this interview about the fact that the leaked cutscenes that happened with The Last of Us Part 2, so much stuff. It does seem like
we ain't even going to finish this dude because clearly he ain't talking about anything. So we'll talk about Last of Us Part 1 and 2. And like I said, I feel like you guys don't understand the story or what's trying to be told here. I've said this from the beginning. I knew Ellie was going to be the main character based off the Last of Us 1 ending of how she questioned Joel about as to what happened between him and the Fireflies, because he got all crazy thinking about he going to lose a daughter that ain't even his. I get it. I get the bravado. I get the fall, he built an attachment with a young girl that he's looking, but you got to remember the decision that Joel made was selfish. He made a decision based off his own issue with the fact that he lost his own daughter. You get what I'm saying? Just to end up losing his life. That's what, to me, that's great story. I don't know how y'all think, oh, that's bad story. That's what I'm saying. Now, I could talk about the bad story of Last of Us, but that ain't it. Joel dying ain't it. I'm tired of it. I've been hearing this for the past few years. I've played both games. I know what I'm talking about, bro. Okay? I know what I'm talking about. Y'all want to sit there and say he was the main character. Explain to me, what purpose does Joel serve to the story after the first game? Besides delivering Ellie to where she needs to go because she's immune to the virus of what's going on here. Y'all know. Ellie pushes the story. You know what I'm saying? She had a job. They probably talked about it with the lady. That's why they were smuggling her all the way through these areas. During that time, Joel built an attachment to her. No different because he had a daughter. Remember, let's not forget, he was deeply saddened by that. So Ellie was kind of his new daughter. But at the end of the day, the decision, y'all like, well, if you was a father, would you sacrifice your own kid? Difference is, that wasn't his own child. He was paid to do something, and he rebelled, and he ended up destroying the Fireflies hospital by going out there and doing what he did to those people. You don't think her, and if you play Left Behind, her and the girl talked about this before they went to the Fireflies? You don't think they had this conversation, Joel? You went out there like a crazy madman trying to go save a daughter that ain't even yours. And y'all want to sit there and talk about, I don't understand why people living like this. Like, it's like, y'all, and I get it. And it's perfect. Like, I'm not even hating y'all for thinking like that. The story was amazing. But it's hard for you guys to say that because Last of Us 2, because Joel passed away, that's why the story sucks. I'm going to have to call cap on that because that is not why the story sucks. It sets up the premise. It sets up the rivalry between Abby and Ellie. Now, the way they went about that, ain't no complaints. Like I said, even I can sit there and chime in and tell you everything. But Joel set up the premise of that game. Okay? It is what it is. Joel killed somebody that Abby loved, and Abby did it to Ellie. There you go. What more do y'all want? Because y'all were attached to Joel, a selfish man. Let's not forget he hurt a lot of people too. He was not a nice man. I'm just sorry. Just because I like Joel, don't get it twisted. But stop acting like he was a good man. He wasn't. He was just like everybody else, and that's what makes it a good story. Just like every other man that lived for his daughter, which unfortunately passed away, but he thought about himself. He thought about himself. When he made that decision and he hurt all those people at that hospital, the Fireflies hospital, he didn't think about humanity, did he? He only thought about him and the attachment to a girl that he had that he thought was his daughter. Y'all know it. Y'all like gangster, man. You always got the bars, man. I respect that. You're always speaking the truth because that's what I do best. I don't have to sit here and lie. I don't have to run with these fraudulent narratives that y'all be doing. I keep it consistent because that's what it was. And before you fathers get out there, oh, you saying that you would do it. I ain't never giving my daughter, even if it ain't my daughter. Go ahead, man. All these fake wannabe angry fathers when they get mad because they really think that this is going on and they like, bro, ain't nobody saying that. But I'm just saying that's what makes a story interesting. You get what I'm saying? When Joel went to that hospital, he hurt a lot of innocent people. You feel me? because they were going to sacrifice Ellie for what they would call, in this story, the greater of good. He didn't see the greater of good because he felt that she'll be like all the other kids that were sacrificed and, nothing would change. So I get that perspective. That's what makes the story unique and dynamic. I don't need people explaining that to me. But I'm saying the decision he made, he was paid to do something. He did it, and then he rebelled and started destroying everybody. They were innocent people that lost their lives from all perspectives. This is what gives Last of Us that good meaning. You feel me? But like I said, man, I know the real will recognize real. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video, man. I just get sick and tired of hearing the same narrative about how Last of Us Part 2 story was trash due to Joel dying. And I'm telling you right now, that's not the case. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video, man. And like I said, take care. Peace out.